Hello students, welcome to Target AES. In this video, I am going to start module number 21 of soil mechanics, and we are going to study the easiest chapter of entire subject, which is stress distribution in soil. What are we interested in? We are just interested in measuring what will be our normal stress when a particular load is applied on the soil. You have to understand, see, whenever you are constructing any structure, you are a civil engineer, obviously you will be constructing some structures. So what is happening? So this load of the structure is being taken by the foundation, and what is the foundation doing? It is transferring this load to the soil. Obviously, when you are applying certain load, what will happen? Stresses will develop, right? So how much stress is being developed when you are applying particular load? We will study in this simple chapter, stress distribution in soil. Okay, so first of all, let us see the case of point load. Most important case, which is point load. After that, we will study strip load, circular load, uniformly distributed load, but they are not that important. But the point load is the most important thing which you have to understand in this chapter. And to find out what will be the normal stress, two people came forward. One is Boussinesq. Second one was Westgaard's. You can use any one of this equation, but more frequently the questions will come from Boussinesq part. Okay, more frequently he will directly ask as per Boussinesq what is the value, and you have to just calculate. There is one simple formula, you just have to substitute all the ingredients in that formula and you will be getting your answer. काफी simple रहेगा. Okay, before going into that, when a point load is applied, let us see as per Boussinesq what are the various assumptions we have to consider. Soil is homogeneous, semi-infinite, elastic and isotropic. If you are watching my videos, you might be aware of this term semi-infinite. For example, if I am taking any plane, okay, let me take some plane. So what he is saying is semi-infinite. Obviously it is infinite in two directions. Let us say this is y-axis, this is x-axis. It is infinite. Y-axis, it can go any number of kilometers, x-axis, it can go any number of kilometers on this plane. But the depth, it is not infinite. It is a finite depth. So this type of phenomena we are calling semi-infinite. Not only this topic, but most of the concepts which we study in soil mechanics, we consider the soil as semi-infinite. On x-axis and y-axis, you can go as far as if you can. There is infinite amount of soil, but the depth, it is finite. Okay, and coming to this term homogeneous and isotropic, you might be knowing these properties from your soil from your strength of materials, right? What is homogeneous? The properties should be same in particular directions. For example, if I am taking infinite number of points, for example, let us take 4 points for now. Okay, let us take some 4 random points. So all the properties at these 4 points in x direction should be same. Okay, in x direction it should be same. Now all the properties at these points in y direction, it should be same. Okay, properties of x direction and y direction can be different, it doesn't matter. But if you take any point in this medium in particular directions, it should have same property. Okay, obviously if this is 1 2 3 4, the properties along this 1z should be equals to properties along this 2z and properties along this 4z. Okay, of course the properties of 4x and 4z might be different, it doesn't matter, but in particular directions your properties should be same. Okay, so 1x 2x 3x 4x properties should be same. 1y 2y 3y 4y properties should be same. 1z 2z 3z 4z properties should be same. Okay, z y x properties can be different. But now what is isotropic? If you are taking any point in the medium, whatever direction you take, the properties should be same. Okay, so you take any point, what it says, the properties in all the directions should be same. Okay, so I hope you got the basic difference between your homogeneous and isotropic, right? And you already know what is elastic, no need to explain. So I hope you understood what are the basic assumptions which you have. First one is homogeneous, semi-infinite and isotropic. Now the second assumption, self-weight of soil is ignored. Obviously when we are talking about soil, what is happening? It has certain amount of weight. As we are going down, what is happening? The weight acting at that particular plane is increasing. If I am going further down, what will happen? The weight acting on that particular plane will further increase. So What are we doing for now? We are just analyzing what is my normal stress because of the load which is applied on my soil. So what I am doing, I am ignoring the self weight of soil. Very important assumption. So self weight of soil is gone, and I am interested in finding what will be a normal stress because of this applied load Q. Okay, so soil is initially unstressed. So initially we are believing that the soil, no load is acting on that soil, and Hooke's law is valid. Don't tell me that you don't know Hooke's law. Okay, so you are learning Hooke's law from your high school itself, right? Stress is directly proportional to strain of up to a proportionality limit. So the same Hooke's law is valid in the soil also. No change in volume of soil when load is applied. See, obviously, if you are taking a certain amount of soil and applying load, what will happen? Obviously, it should deform, right? So strains will be developed. Because of the strain only stress will come into the soil, right? Common sense की बात है. But here for now, what are we assuming? We are assuming there won't be any change in volume of soil when load is being applied. Okay, so there is no change in volume, and stress is symmetrical about vertical axis, surface free from shear force and subjected to point load only. I have told you previously, right? This point load can be solved by using two methods. One is Boussinesq and other is Westgaard. So obviously Boussinesq is for only point load conditions. Okay, so if I am taking one particular plane like this, you can clearly see one particular plane like this. So take some point. Let us say this is my point. What will be my radial distance? Very simple. So if this distance is x, if this distance is x and this distance is y, so obviously my radial distance directly from this point to this point, what it will be? It will be under root x square plus y square. Okay, it will be x square plus y square. This is x, this is x, and this is y. So what is this distance? As simple as that, apply Pythagoras and you will be getting your answer under root x square plus y square. Okay, so similarly this will be my radial distance. I will be using this term very frequently from now. Okay, so I am making this video in summer, therefore it is very hot here. I am sweating like anything, but anything for you. I won't be taking any break. So let us talk about this. See this term R, the radial distance. I will be using this very frequently in the formulas of this chapter. So remember, what is it? It is just the radial distance under root x square plus y square. Okay, so obviously I told you we are considering a point below the plane, right, inside the soil. So obviously if I am taking it a particular point which is at z meters below the plane, okay, so what will be the distance? Let that distance will be capital R. Very simple formula, it will be just x square plus y square plus z square. Okay, but in formulas we will be using the smaller only, the radial distance under root x square plus y square, very frequently. Okay, very frequently. So now what is the formula as per this Boussinesq theorem? Very simple, my sigma z at any depth, okay, it could be any depth, this could be z1 or it could be z2, it doesn't matter, whatever depth you want along the vertical lines. So your sigma z will be kb cube by z square. Okay, kb cube by z square, as simple as that. So what is kb? Kb is nothing but Boussinesq constant, B for Boussinesq, K for constant. Okay, or it is also called as influence factor IF. Okay, up to you. You can call it as influence factor or you can call it as Boussinesq constant. I call it Boussinesq constant. Okay, so what is this Boussinesq constant value? Very important for small examinations, direct between SSC JE. So it is 3 by 2 pi 1 by 1 plus r by z whole square whole to the power of 5 by 2. Super important, give it 10 stars. Very frequently asked question in direct SSC JE. See, obviously questions he will ask to solve in GATE only. Even if he asks in ESC, right, he will just give as if your r by z value is 0 or r by z value is 1. Without any problem you will be getting the answer. So he will make sure that you will get answer in 1 minute or 2 minutes. Okay, but in GATE a complex question can come. In SSC JE no question can come. He will directly ask you what is the constant value. You just have to tick the right answer, which is 3 by 2 pi 1 by 1 plus r by z whole square whole to the power of 5 by 2, and you will be getting your answer. Okay, so when in this formula you can see this capital Q, right? What is capital Q? It is nothing but your load in kilonewton. Okay, sometimes he will give you small q also. Means we'll study this topic, we will solve some problems also. But whenever you are seeing capital Q in this chapter or anywhere in soil mechanics from now, I mean it is load. Okay, and what will be the units? Kilonewton. And when I am talking about small q, right, I am talking about stress, load per area. So that will be kilonewton per meter square. Kilonewton per meter square. So if you want stress, let us say if a load is acting at any point, let us say this point is P and the load is Q. So what is the value of sigma z at any place? It doesn't matter, at any place. So what is it? It is just kb q by z square. So this radial distance jo bhi hai na, it is covered in my kb value. Okay, so you can clearly see you got this r value, right? So you will be getting wherever point you want, it doesn't matter, you will be getting your sigma z corresponding to that point. I hope concept is very clear, right? I hope you can solve this. See, in examination sometimes he can ask you what is the value of shear stress at that particular point. Okay, he can also ask you what is the shear stress. We are finding the normal stress, right? Using this formula, what are we finding? We are finding normal stress at any depth z. At any point you can find. For example, if you know that depth z, so on this depth z at any point, it doesn't matter, you can find what is your stress corresponding to the point load which you applied above that. Okay, so similarly sometimes you can ask what is shear stress at any particular point. How to get it? Very simple, the same formula which you have used in fluid mechanics. I hope you remember, right? Normal stress divided by z, which is the distance, the vertical distance, because normal stress you are getting in vertical plane, so vertical distance is equals to tau or z divided by r. As simple as that. Okay, as simple as that. So what will be my tau or z? In terms of my formula, that will be kb q by z square by z into r. So you can write it as kb qr by zq. Okay, so what will be my tau or z? It will be kb qr by zq. I hope things are clear, right? So let us see some applications of this Boussinesq theory. Very simple and very important. The very first application of this Boussinesq theory is stress isobar or isobar diagram. See, we have studied so many isos in the subject hydrology which we have finished, right? What is iso? Iso means same or equal. So when I am talking about isobar, it means same pressure, or you can say same stress. Okay, same vertical stress. So just join all the points with same vertical stress. The curve which you are getting, I am calling it as isobar. Okay, or in simple language you can call it as pressure curve, also up to you, but isobar is the technical term which you will be using. Use your common sense. आप ही बताना, if I am applying certain load Q, the self weight of soil is ignored. याद है ना, assumption of Boussinesq, the weight of the soil is ignored. We are calculating stresses only because of this load. Now you tell me, if I have 2 points, point R1 and point R2. R1 is close to your load and R2 is very far from your load. Now tell me the stress will be more at R1 or R2. So obviously as R1 is close to my point Q, the stress will be more. Agreed? So what is happening? Your stress value is decreasing along your radial direction. Agreed or not? Common sense की बात है. Similarly, what is happening to your stress in vertical direction? See, obviously you are ignoring the weight of soil. The stress is only because of this load Q. Now tell me, if I have 2 points Z1 and somewhere Z2, where you will be having more stress? Obviously common sense की बात है, you will be having more stress at this point Z1 because it is close to that load. Okay, it is close to that load. So even if you don't remember, you know the formula, right? So your normal stress, it was equals to kb q by z square. So more the value of z, what is happening? Your normal stress value is less. Okay, common sense की बात है, no need to worry, right? So as you are going away from this point, in simple language, your stress value is decreasing. So what I am doing, I am just joining the points which is giving me equal stress. And just joining the points which are giving me equal stress. The diagram which I am getting, right, it is nothing but my isobars. Okay, concept clear hai? So what is the use of this isobar? See, what is the use of this isobar? We can find out at any point, if we have this isobar diagram, if you once construct this isobar diagram, you can find out at any depth or any point what stress you are going to get. Okay, or we can calculate this particular stress will be present at which and which points in our soil sample. For example, let us say let me take one isobar which corresponds to 0.5 q. Okay, so this is corresponding to 0.5 q. My sigma z value is 0.5 into q. Now see the magic. So what is my sigma z? It is nothing but kb q by z square. What is kb? You can write clearly also 3 by 2 by 1 by 1 plus r by z whole square whole to the power of 5 by 2. Okay, so q cancel. Send this z square here. What you will be getting? You will be getting your kb is equals to 0.5 into z square. 0.5 into z square. So this is for 0.5 q, right? This is for your sigma z value is equals to 0.5 q. So you got kb is equals to 0.5 z square. For example, if you want to find out at what points on this z value is equals to 0.6, you are getting this 0.5 q, right? Just substitute your z value as 0.6. Okay, or if you want to find out at what depth, at the depth of 0.4, at what radial distance you are getting this 0.5, just substitute your z value as 0.4. I hope concept is clear, right? So if I want at what points my stress is equals to 0.5 q, just have to substitute my z value is equals to 0.6. Then what I will be getting, just substitute kb is equals to 0.5 into 0.6 square, which is 0.36. You will be getting 0.18. So just this kb value is equals to 0.18. You know what is kb? 3 by 2 pi 1 by r by z whole square whole to the power of 5 by 8 is equals to 0.18. Just calculate, use your calculators. So you will be getting r value is equals to 0.41. That means at this depth 0.6 from this load, at the radial distance, you know, if this is my vertical line, at the radial distance of 0.41, what are you getting? You are getting a point where your stress is exactly equals to 0.5 q. Okay, concept clear, eh? So similarly you can find out at whatever point what will be the stress using this stress isobar. Now let us see some problems. Very important problems, काफी simple रहेंगे. You should never miss a problem from this chapter. Okay, you should never miss a problem from this chapter. Let us see this question which is asked in ESE, and the same question was asked twice in GATE examination. For a vertical concentrated load acting on a surface of a semi-infinite elastic soil mass, the vertical normal stress at the depth z is proportional to. So what is your answer? It is kb q by z square. So it is inversely proportional to z square. Just tick it, you will be getting your right answer. Now coming to the next question, sigma z is a vertical stress at a depth equal to z. Okay, sigma z is a stress at a depth z in a soil mass due to point load q. The vertical stress 2 at a depth of 2z is, okay, you have to calculate the vertical stress at this point 2 in terms of vertical stress at this point 1. Very simple, you know your vertical stress is inversely proportional to z square, so we'll use the same formula. So it is inversely proportional to 2z whole square, so it is nothing but 1 by 4 into z square. Okay, so your sigma 2z, you can just divide it, sigma z2 divided by sigma z1. What you will be getting? You will be getting 1 by 4 z square divided by 1 by 4 1 by z square, 1 by z square. So z square cancel. You will be getting sigma z2 is equals to sigma z divided by 4, which is equals to 0.25 sigma z1. So you can just tick the right answer. You will be getting your 2 marks in ESE exam. Simple hai na? So no need to worry, right? So what he has said, he has not given any radial distance. You can take radial distance as r is equals to 0. You can ask me, sir, z value तो इसमें भी है, kb value में भी है. It doesn't matter because your r value is 0. R by z is given, right? So in denominator what you have? 1 by 1 plus r by z whole square. So r value is 0 here. So r by z value will be 0. It doesn't matter, right? So it is not changing anything. So you can directly take inversely proportional to z square and you will be getting your answer. Now let us see this question. Very interesting question. Simple question hai. This question was asked in GATE 2010 for 2 marks, and the same question was asked for 2 marks in GATE 2019. So this is quite important. Now let us see this question. See the vertical stress at a point P1 due to, where is point P1? It is somewhere here at the depth Z. So what is the vertical stress? It is sigma Z given in this question. According to Boussinesq equation, the vertical stress at this point P2 is, see now here he has clearly given the radial distance. Okay, and this depth z. Very easy to calculate. So what is my sigma z? First of all, it is nothing but my kb, which is 3 by 2 pi 1 by 1 plus r by z whole square whole to the power of 5 by 2 into q by z square. So this was my sigma z. Now what is sigma z2? Let us write clearly. So what is sigma z2? So 3 by 2 pi again 1 by 1 plus. Now what is the radial distance? It is r by 2. It is r by 2. What is the depth? It is z by 2. It is z by 2 whole square whole to the power of 5 by 2 q by z square. Okay, q by not z square, it is z by 2 whole square. Okay, because it is at the depth z by 2 only, right? So what is my sigma z2? It is 3 by 2 pi 1 by 1 plus. See, by 2 cancel, you are getting r by z whole square whole to the power of 5 by 2 q by z square by 4. So if I am writing it above into 4. Okay, just divide this. Sigma z2 by z1, sigma z2 by sigma z1. So what you are getting, so everything gets cancelled. So you are getting 4q by z square divided by q by z square. So z square q cancel, you will be getting 4 as your answer. So sigma z2 is nothing but 4 into sigma z1. Common sense की बात है. Just tick your right answer and you will be getting your 2 marks in GATE. Okay, very important question. This has a very high chance of repeating again and again. I hope concept is clear, right? So in next year what he can ask, so if this is at r, if this is r and this is z, what will be the stress if you are taking a point which is at 2z meters below and 2r meters to the radial distance? So again you have to calculate. You will be getting your answer as 0.25 sigma z1 now. Okay, so I hope you get the logic, right? So as we have came towards it, we got 4 z1. If you are going away, what will happen? Obviously stress will decrease. So by 4 हो जाएगा, 0.25 sigma z1 answer आएगा. Okay, concept clear है ना? So like this the questions can be modified. The concept will remain same. Concept is very limited, but examiner's imagination is infinite. So obviously he can modify the existing question in only some fixed ways. If you are perfect in concept, you will be able to answer whatever question he is trying to ask. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this module, right? Next module इससे भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा interesting रहेगा. So it might be taught different by different faculty, but believe me, the next module I will be teaching you in a very simple language which you will never forget. So काफ़ी simple रहेगा, no need to worry. I have told you this is one of the easiest chapter of entire soil mechanics, and it will be the easiest chapter. You will be able to solve all the questions from this chapter. Leave it to me. Have a nice day. See you in next module.